The Sandiganbayan again defers the arraignment and pre-trial of former Senator Bong Revilla in connection with the alleged 92.8 million peso flood control project in Bulacan, resetting the proceedings to February 16. In a session on Monday, February 9, the Anti-Graft Court's 3rd Division reschedules the arraignment of Revilla and Juanito Mendoza, pending the resolution of their motions for reconsideration. Mendoza is an accountant of the Department of Public Works and Highways Bulacan 1st District Engineering Office. Meanwhile, 5 of their co-accused plead not guilty to the malversation charge during their arraignment on Monday. These are DPWH engineers Bryce Hernandez, JP Mendoza, RJ Dumasig, Emelita Huat, and cashier Cristina May del Rosario Pineda. For the graft charge, Revilla, Juanito Mendoza, Dumasig, and Huat are set for arraignment and pre-trial before the 4th Division on Monday afternoon. JP Mendoza, Hernandez, and Pineda pleaded not guilty to the graft charge on January 28. Revilla is facing charges of graft and malversation of public funds through falsification of public documents before the Sandiganbayan's 4th and 3rd Divisions. Assistant Ombudsman Miko Clavano previously said Revilla and the 6 other accused allegedly conspired to release at least 76 million pesos as payment for the project in Barangay Bunsuran in Pandi, Bulacan, which was awarded to a private contractor in March 2025. The former senator previously insisted he did nothing wrong and said he would face the cases without fear. Local petroleum products will be costlier by up to 1 peso per liter beginning Tuesday, February 10, with diesel prices now on a 7th-week streak of hikes. In an advisory on Monday, February 9, a local oil firm says the per liter price of diesel will increase by 1 peso. Gasoline and kerosene prices will also climb by 60 centavos a liter. This marks the 5th consecutive week of upward price adjustments for gasoline and the 7th consecutive week for kerosene. Jetty Petroleum President Leo Bellas earlier said the fresh round of oil price hikes were due to supply risks and continued geopolitical conflict. He said diesel price found support from weather-related supply and demand issues. He also cited continued geopolitical tension in the Middle East, affecting supply dynamics as Europe moved away from Russian origin supplies. The Department of Energy previously assured consumers that it was closely monitoring the local market to ensure that price adjustments remain fair and just. Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson says the contents of the draft Blue Ribbon Committee report recommending charges against some incumbent senators will stay. In a radio interview, Lacson says the substance of the draft report will not change. He notes that the Blue Ribbon investigation into the anomalous flood control projects is still a work in progress. Lacson has confirmed that a draft report recommended the filing of charges against Senators Jinggoy Estrada, Joel Villanueva, and Chis Escudero. He likewise confirmed that the draft also implicated fugitive and former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico, former Public Works Secretary Manuel Banoan, and several others based on testimonies from former Public Works engineers. Asked if the recommendation to charge Villanueva and Estrada will still change, the Senate leader says no. He says it would be awkward to do so, especially since most of the evidence came from the Blue Ribbon Committee in the cases filed before the Department of Justice. He also says the committee has so far found no basis to hold President Bongbong Marcos accountable in connection with the alleged flood control irregularities. The senator points out how the president's role is to approve the General Appropriations Act once it is submitted, but he does not prepare the General Appropriations Bill. Lacson earlier clarified that the report was merely a draft and not the committee report itself. For the document to become the actual panel report, Lacson said it needs to be signed and approved. The document needs 11 signatures before it is submitted for plenary discussion. He added that at least one member of the Senate minority bloc, particularly Minority Leader Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, needs to sign the report. According to Lacson, the Blue Ribbon panel will hold 1 to 2 more hearings before drafting the final and complete version of the committee report. The committee earlier met on Wednesday, February 4, when he says they discussed the use of appropriate language in some of the paragraphs. Lacson also notes that he is open to submitting the committee report to the Ombudsman and the DOJ as a chairman's report in case the committee fails to gather enough signatures.